Hello everyone and welcome to Real Time with CPCA 2018 here in Shanghai, China. I'm Stephen Las Marias and joining me today is Jochen Zeller, Vice President of AWP Group. Jochen, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you for your time talking with us.
All right, so Jochen, can you please tell us more about AWP?
Yeah, AWP is a company that was formed 4 years ago. It was mainly consists of people coming out of various established companies that are long in the PCB industry. Altogether, we have at the moment around 150 years of experience in the PCB industry under one roof. We have a main engineering site in Germany, where also our headquarters is. And the manufacturing site is located in Poland, where we manufacture all kinds of horizontal wet process equipment, handling equipment, material handling equipment, and from there we deliver worldwide to Europe, North America, and to Asia. It helps a lot, for example, that at the moment we can deliver a lot of equipment by train already to China, which cuts the delivery time from Poland from 6 weeks down to 3 weeks.
Wow, that's great.
So this is interesting to use this kind of opportunity now and use the qualified people in Poland because I have a pretty good supply chain network there and very qualified people in the machining industry.
All right, so AWP, does that really mean advanced wet processing?
Yes.
All right, okay. So Jochen, what can you tell us more about the challenges in the wet processing part of the PCB assembly industry right now?
I mean, a lot of the challenges come back. I mean, as you know, a lot of it is miniaturization at the moment. That's the big challenge for everybody, going from like 50 micron line space going to 40 or below 35 on the PCB side. Substrate side is already very much lower than that, but to get to this level takes a lot of effort because it seems simple, but a lot of challenges lie ahead for everybody, especially in particle reduction, damages to the product, which are much more significant the lower you go on the line space and on the panels. So it makes it more difficult, and for the companies, they need to pay more attention to what kind of equipment, what is the design of the equipment, and what is the particle creation that will be introduced into the products during processing.
Exactly.
So this another challenge lies ahead in traceability, because more and more customers want to know when their product is produced, what kind of environment is around when the panels go down the line, or what errors exist, what kind of process parameters exist. And to have this traceability, you need to have connected lines, you need to have traceability, you need to have information about every panel at any time, what kind of environment it sees, and you need to be able to collect this data and in the next step bring it back to the line to further improve the processing of your manufacturing line.
Exactly. And so how, given those challenges, how is the company helping your customers address these issues?
I mean, we are probably one of the only suppliers at the moment that can provide horizontal wet process equipment, material handling solutions, and recycling systems from one company. This makes it makes it a lot easier to integrate the lines, because the interaction between the wet process and the handling we have under our control. We can control the data transfer, even to the MES systems of the customer. We can integrate with them, and this makes it for the customer a lot more easier to implement these systems that are coming online now.
Jochen, I understand you made a presentation yesterday during the automation conference. Can you please tell us more about it for those who were not able to attend?
Yes, I mean, it was a great opportunity for us to present a project that we're working on right now. I mean, a lot of people heard about it. I mean, it's the Whelen engineering project in the US. We are lucky, or we also were able to provide all the handling, material handling, and all the wet process equipment for this project, totally integrated with camera and RFID. And I gave yesterday an overview about the challenges in this project, what kind of key equipment we used to make this project happen, and the road what led to this project.
Right.
And I think it's for a lot of companies it's very interesting, because the keynote out of this presentation is, well, you don't need to volume to produce at an acceptable cost. I mean, this project, contrary to what a lot of people think, is not for volume production. It's actually for single piece flow control.
Okay.
And this is very, I think it takes a little time for people to understand, to manage this information. It really means there is not a job with 20, 30 panels. Every panel is a job.
Okay.
And this to run in a fully interconnected line is something absolutely new. Nobody is doing this at the moment. But it has some great opportunities. Of course, the capital investment in the beginning is higher, but the running cost is so dramatically lower than like a standard production of PCB. And this is what makes that project so interesting for everybody.
But then if it's not mass or volume production, what are the advantages of it?
The advantages is the prototyping. You can turn around panels very fast. The second advantage is the yield. You don't have hardly any people touching the panels, and you have, because everything is in line and everybody is connected, you have data tracking that you feed back into the line, so you have a consistent production of lines. And when you know exactly when this board is coming again, you need these parameters to run it, and everything is online. So you don't have people tweaking and turning everything, try to find the correct parameters for a specific job.
So which part did AW play in this project that you did?
I mean, we are involved from the beginning on for this project. We worked together with Mr. Stepinski and his team to lay out the factory, how we're going to do the material handling, how we're going to fit it in the space. We designed together the wet process equipment. For example, the DES line is very unique. I mean, this is not something standard where you can find everywhere else, because it's basically a line that you don't need to empty. Because to make an interconnected line, the utilization very high. You cannot empty the DES line for every time you change the copper thickness. So we designed a machine that we actually can change the etching program on the fly. So the conveyor speed stays consistent. We don't need to empty the line to change to a next product.
Sort of gives it flexibility as well.
Yes, there's a lot of flexibility with the machine, and this is what we laid out the whole thing. So we will provide the whole. I mean, you can see a layout back here of this factory, how it's laid out, where you can see everything from the handling to the wet process that is provided for this factory.
All right, and I think that's where the industry is headed when it comes to smart manufacturing or Industry 4.0, right?
Yes, I mean, this is because the traceability is there for this project, and also the consistent production and the data feedback into the line, that actually the data is used to continuously improve the product when it comes down the line. So this is what makes that project very unique.
And Jochen,
I would call it more a data-driven manufacturing than a people-driven manufacturing.
Oh, exactly. Jochen, so we're in China right now. What are the opportunities you're seeing in this region?
I mean, in this region for us, it's also a lot of customers in China are interested in this project, because same thing here, you know how it is in China right now. Material handling, automation is interesting. I mean, it's also for a lot of companies here interesting. Labor cost is rising, you know, and quality levels need to go up. That means you need to get people away from the panel, from touching the panel and everything, and damaging the boards. So for a lot of customers here, this project or this material handling of this project is getting very interesting. And they also want to talk with us, try to understand how they can implement something. Sometimes it's new factories, but it's also existing factories, because we also do this kind of automation also for, let's say, island automation. It doesn't need to be the whole factory. We can also take, for example, a process like the inner layer process or the solder mask process and make an island integrated for one process instead of the whole factory. And this, I think, will be a gradual step for people that they will start to move in this direction.
Exactly. Jochen, what is your outlook for this year?
I mean, at the moment, we are quite busy with this project, as you can imagine. But we're looking already for the next generation of wet process equipment, especially for substrate. Substrate is the next market for us, where we have a lot of know-how how to do this. And so we're looking into material handling and wet processing for the substrate market. I mean, especially for production of 10-min lines in space and below. I mean, this is our next target.
All right, Jochen, is there anything that we haven't talked about that you think we should be highlighting here?
I think we covered most of the things what we do, and it was a great opportunity for us to give that presentation yesterday. I mean, thank you very much for this. And I think the show was great here. You know, there was a lot of interest in what we do, and we're looking forward to the rest of this year.
All right, great. Thank you very much again, Jochen, for joining us today.
Thank you.
I'm Stephen Las Marias, and that was Jochen Zeller, Vice President of AWP Group. Thank you very much for watching.